I think Susan did an amazing job. In all honesty, it really hit home, not just from a professional level, but from a personal level. And she definitely, connected with me in that way.
So the presentation, Heart Center Leadership, were there any parts of that stuck out to you that may have impacted you more than another?
Absolutely. I would say being true to thyself, and then also taking a deep look in the mirror and admitting to myself the good with the bad, and taking that bad and turning it around and having it be that true 360.
It was actually a little bit more informative than I thought it was going to be, just because I think we get so caught up in the day in, day out stuff that we have to do with our jobs that we forget the human side of it. And so to kind of bring that back to the surface again, I think for all of us to see that was huge for us. So it was very much enjoyable. Just the fact that she really dwelled on the balance of everything and how you can be super successful in your job, but if you're not balancing out with that emotional side and really caring, you're probably not going to be successful after all. So all that's got to intertwine together. And again, I think we all tend to relate to that a lot, but we forget it. So to me, that was probably the biggest part today.
Susan was a terrific speaker. She opened up my heart into my ability to lead and the ability to bring others along on a ride with me.
Awesome. And what was your favorite part of the presentation?
The legacy. Talking about what legacy we can leave with the people in our lives, the people that we lead, whether it's our clients, customers, our family members. What's our legacy that we want to leave behind?
All right. And so, what would be your greatest takeaway from today's presentation? What are you going to take back and actually implement?
The power of personal power, I think, is that not positional power, but personal power. And it's not about power, but it's just the power that we can impact people's lives that we work with, and in such a positive way of caring and fulfillment.
As a presenter, she did excellent. I'm going to have a lot of good best practices, and actually probably transfer a lot of her wording into what I used to use. I might have had the same thought process, but I've gotten some wording off of it.
Right. What was your favorite part of the presentation today?
Differentiating personal power and position power. And I can elaborate by saying, I used to say titles, give you examples of structure, but it does not mean success. You can teach your people sales reports, you can teach them what it's going to take to keep the job, but when you involve personal power and you involve motion, it gets long-term, the longevity, respect from them, and ultimately that will just achieve more in the long run.
So tell me about something that you're definitely going to go back and implement, given from the presentation today.
Focus more on personal power. I do think a little bit more on working on self, the long hours and everything. I never really thought about it, but I have had staff say, I realize you work in all these hours and everything, never thought that might be putting pressure on them. But that also can reflect back on me, maybe time management. But we're all doing one job for 3 people these days. That's just how it is. But I just want to make sure I communicate with them that we all need to do what we need to do and at our own pace.
I think I've seen a lot of motivational speakers, and Susan really hit a lot of the really core important points that you look for in listening to someone with a lot of takeaways.
Yeah. Good. What was your favorite part of the presentation today?
I think the favorite part of the presentation would be us as leaders having the ability to affect all the managers and associates, all the people that we deal with daily, not necessarily just at work, but also just as in the workplace, from work to home. We have the ability to impact that positively and negatively.
Right. So if you're going to pick one thing that's going to be the most important thing you take and implement from this presentation, what would you say that would be?
I think looking ahead to the future, she had some really good points of how we want to be remembered in terms of retiring. How I would take that away would be appreciating each and every associate, each and every manager, showing the thanks and the small, I guess the appreciation notes, not necessarily monetary, but it's the true value in showing those pieces of appreciation that she kind of showed through research, when they go out and they do the tallies, that it's not necessarily the money at the end of the day, but it's that true personal, meaningful value that we can provide.